Welcome back, rankers. Thanks for all the shares and the likes of last week's video. We got heaps of views. It was great. I want to do another site review this week. This time it's for these guys, David Jones, another big department store like we did last week because it was so popular. I thought I'd do another one. I've spent a lot of money with these guys because I buy, but I don't do it. Someone else buys all our computer gear via David Jones because we only buy Apple Macs. And anyway, long story, good deals, all the rest of it. But I was having a look at the site and I'm thinking, it's got some really weird redirects. Like you type in davidjones.com.au, you end up at this subdomain and then at these subdirectories. And when you go and have a look at that, if you do a bit of a lookup of that, you get this weird, you get all this cookie setting stuff, which is really cumbersome. But have a look at this redirect. So davidjones.com.au, you go there, and then you do a where are we? A 301 move permanently. So permanent redirect to this subdomain, and then this URL here, which then in turn gets another permanent redirect. So you're getting this double permanent redirect, which is kind of odd, and not good for Google, because what's happening recently, and I don't know yet whether it's a bit of a Google fart or it's actually something that Google is serious about. It is that, remember how we told you about the faulty smartphone redirects, where Google was starting to punish sites, like we showed you last week, where they're redirecting someone from a page that might be found in search, and then they're sending them off to a MDOT page. Well, now we're seeing Google alerts come in for sites which are simply doing a permanent redirect to another page on the site. So, for instance, if someone was to click on a link on your site that was actually permanently redirecting to another page, Google would send you a warning. In fact, if David Jones' agency has Google Webmaster Tools set up, they'll probably find thousands of these warnings inside. So, and Google's actually saying in the warnings, listen, unless you fix this permanent 301 redirect, it could affect your rankings. We may affect your appearance in the search results. Now, that's a big issue for a lot of sites because a lot of people don't even know that they have redirects within their own site. And to give you an idea of what that looks like, there's an excellent piece of software you can get. It's not free. It's called Screaming Frog, but most of your good SEOs will use it. And we've just crawled 500 URLs on the David Jones site today, and we can see here that we've got all these pages here, but some of them are actually temporarily redirecting, which is even worse than a permanent redirect. Actually, so these are links within the site, and if you're doing that, stop it. Stop doing a permanent redirect. Permanent redirects aren't bad, because they're there so people don't get lost, and if an old page is bookmarked or something else, people end up at the page, the right one. Where you shouldn't be using them though is actually in the site itself, in your sitemap. I doubt very much whether davidjones.com.au actually has a sitemap either, because when I go and have a look at the index and I just say show me, I'll get to that page in a minute. When I say show me all the pages that are on, say, shop.davidjones.com.au / blah, blah, because that's where you get redirected, I get 434,000 results. I didn't know they had that many products. And deeper investigation, I would say they definitely don't have that many products, because when I go right to the end of these pages, I can find some weird stuff starting to happen. I start to see pages like these. These are category pages or pages we probably don't want Google crawling. A sitemap would go some ways to say, no, Google, these are the pages we want you to crawl. Don't go and crawl these other ones, as we've said previously, because what's happening is Google's going in and looking at search terms and doing searches on the site as well. And to give you an idea of that, I found this one, this page here, no, not that one. This one here is in the Google Index. That is a page on David Jones in the Google Index. And if you end up at that page, this is what you get. It's a bit ordinary. It's not great, is it? No, you don't want that. So you're getting all this noise within the index. You're getting these pages. And look, I'm not saying that that David Jones isn't getting traffic from search. I think they're probably getting a lot of traffic. The point here is that they could be getting a lot more. And to give you an idea of this is one client who started with us a few weeks ago, and the funny thing is that they were with another SEO company, and they started with us about a month ago. You can see the graph change here when they started with us. So the reason that graph has changed there is that we updated their sitemap, and basically that's all we did, and it increased their traffic by that much there. That's their actual data. So their organic traffic from Google increased by 25% simply by submitting a sitemap, which is, of course, insane. The funny thing is, though, because they were with an old SEO company, this old SEO company had actually created some really good backlinks for them. And we don't create backlinks because we don't need to, because everyone else is doing it. And all we have to do is clean up the messy, horrible old ones and then fix up the index like we would do with, say, a David Jones like this. You would simply go in. They'll be getting hit with things like a panda penalties. They'll be getting all sorts of nasty stuff. But because the site's so big, they may not realise how much traffic they are missing out on. And the reason I know that they're missing out on traffic is because we've seen it time and time again. So you do that site and we just go shop David Jones, shop.davidjones.com.au, and this is what you see. So we get the 434,000, and then we just take off those directories there, and then we get 3 million. 3 million pages? Really? No, sorry. I don't care how big your department store is. You do not have, and here we start to see all these search results. This is why this site's probably growing like this in the index, mainly because all of these things are being crawled that shouldn't be getting crawled. And you can block these by robots.txt, have a sitemap, and once you clean those sorts of things up, you can see a jump in 25% traffic. Now, for that client, a lead is worth, the one I showed you before, the data, it's about $800 for a lead. So an increase, a 25% increase in leads is significant, right? So, and I would hazard a guess the same is probably true for David Jones. The other thing that I looked at with David Jones, I mean, it looks like someone's gone to a lot of trouble to do things the right way. You look at these page titles, you know, they've got the brand and, well, that one's not good because it's got David Jones. But, you know, gift ideas, gift card, right? Someone's had a red hot go at making this work. But when you go and have a look at a little bit beyond that, like they've done that, right? They've put a good page title in, and then they've dropped the ball at the meta description. The meta description's gone by the wayside. And then they've dropped the ball at the H1 tag. The H1 tag, well, actually in that case it's not too bad. And my disk is almost full. So I'm going to have to finish the show. But just remember, before you worry about external things, go and check the Google index first. Go and clean up all those things. Because if you clean up all those things, you'll see a good jump in traffic from Google. Then you get in and you start to clean up these on-page things. You start to put real H1s in there, real H2s in there. But this one right now, it's got 3 million pages in the index, of which I would say at least 2.5 million should not be there and need to be removed. That is it for this week's show. Hopefully that's helpful, and we'll see you next week. Thanks very much. Bye.